Happy Sunday, good people. Today is Sunday, 5th of January 2025. It's crazy how the years just roll past. I remember I was in junior secondary school and we resumed a new term. And you resume a new term, you have new books, especially when you're resuming a new session. You have all these new, like 12 new notebooks, and you have to write your name on all of them and write dates when your classes start. I, and, I remember writing 2009 on my book and thinking, wow, new year. Because I think that was second term, January. Because I remember I had almost made the mistake of writing 2008 and then I wrote 2009 and like, shiny new year. And that was what? How many years ago now? It's crazy. So, today, good living. I want to talk about health. I want to talk about the things that I've learned regarding health, and how much difference it is from professional knowledge and the layman's knowledge, and how detrimental that difference can be, in itself. A lot of misconceptions about health issues and diseases are out there, and they are like what people would regard as common knowledge. There are a lot of things flying around on the internet, like a lot of what would I say, self-help, health advice, health tips that help you get a basic understanding of things to do for your health and things that are bad for your health. And they just seem it's like bland information at a surface level. You're like, duh. But I've recently been exposed to like the deep impact of these lifestyle differences in terms of how, seriously you take your health. And it is important that everybody actually knows the right thing to do for themselves and does that. Fuck, that's a very, very difficult sentence to make. It's important that everybody knows the right things to do and do them. It is important that everybody knows the right things to do and does them. It is important that everybody knows the right things to do and does them. So, first thing, exercise. Like, the way it is, I think the way that our race has evolved, or the way life actually is that you start with youth, where you have energy and you don't have a lot of experience. It's just the principle of time. It's the law of time. And then over time, your age will not stay the same. Your strength and your youth will not stay the same with time. It will not get better with time, like it's wine or something else. Or, it eventually declines. Your body, your energy, your youthful exuberance, or whatever it is, your testosterone, it declines. And as other parts are enriching themselves or are building, some parts are declining. So you have to use the parts that you have, right, to help yourself, to plan for your future. So if you have strength in your youth, you need to know that to enjoy your life, you need to use that strength in your youth to do things that will benefit you when you don't have that strength anymore. You need to use that strength to give yourself security. Like, the Bible says you should serve God in your youth, Abi, how did they even say it again, self? But like, it's best to serve God in your youth. And my stance on religion is I'm a Christian and I believe in the Bible, but there are several interpretations, as we have known, that you can make. And one way I think I can interpret that verse is not to say that is what it means in any way, shape, or form, but you can say, if you serve God, or which is if you take care of yourself, if you do the right things, if you just logically do what is best in your youth, you have a fruitful old age, you have a happy old age, you have a happy and satisfying life, basically. Like, that's like the basic idea of the whole thing. And somehow, the majority of human beings fail at achieving this thing. Majority of human beings don't even succeed at achieving this thing. They just have miserable lives and then just die. and then it's almost sad. Almost everybody's story is sad. People who achieve their dreams, people who are fit at middle age, are so few. It's crazy when it's common knowledge what you should be doing. So first of all, in your youth, I understand now, being a young man, that it is important that I exercise because of all the knowledge that I think I have gathered, like on the subject. Like I know it's pretty much a no-brainer to me now that I need to move my body a lot. I need to exercise my body and put my body under some physical stress, and I need to build muscle in my youth because it will help me in my old age, and I need to enjoy doing it as well. So having that knowledge has forced me to become a person that exercises almost every single day. And now I do it because I love it, not even because I'm trying to like save my body for the future or preserve myself. I actually enjoy working out and exercising in every shape and form. So, and that is to say that everything that you should be doing right for your body are things that you can actually enjoy. So you're not even giving up any pleasures, you're just giving up the wrong pleasures. Things that you can enjoy, like am I missing the... I'll have to edit this audio. This is exactly how I used to do before. I wouldn't script, I wouldn't edit the audio, I would just carry my phone record and post. Anyway, yes, it was my thoughts. Yeah. So you can actually enjoy doing this stuff like that are these activities that are good for your health, and enjoy the benefits of having done them when you get old. So another one is eating healthy. Eating healthy and exercising go hand in hand, especially when you have goals, like weight goals and stuff like that. And even fitness goals, because the thing that you put in your body is literally your fuel. No machine moves without fuel. No machine moves without something that propels it. You get, sometimes it's man-made, sometimes it is a fuel. So our food is literally our fuel. Our food is what maintains our body. That is what you put in your body that helps replenish your body. So it is extremely important that what you put in your body is watched and is right for you. And somehow, we don't even care. The only way we care is if it tastes good. As long as it's like good to the mouth, to the tongue, and our brain likes it, bam, that is it. That's where most of us stop in terms of investigation of what we should eat. When what you should look at is the impact it has on doing the job it's supposed to do, like improving your internal organs, improving your brain, improving your skin, circulating your blood circulation, things like that, improving your body, building your muscle. Which leads me to, so let me say, eating healthy. Where a lot of people get it wrong. Yeah, we like snacks a lot. And if you know anything about agriculture, you know that it is not a cheap industry. You get, it might be easy to plant, you get, but when they start selling food, you know that it's not the price of biscuits that you used to buy yam. It's not the price of, you understand? So relatively, you might not consider cooked food to be more expensive than snacks on a surface level because you eat both of them pretty regularly. But snacks are cheap. And for you to make cheap food, they have to be very, very synthetic because natural materials are expensive. I think that's the thing I want to say. You know, the way you have natural minerals, the way agriculture and crops grow from the ground, they are valuable. And you cannot just pack plenty of them like that and give somebody for an amount. It will have to cost money. It's why, like I said, raw materials and food cost the way they do. And no matter the item of food, onions has value, everything has value. Anyway, I digress. So things like the things that you should be eating naturally is fruits, vegetables, meat, and water. Like if you're talking about nature, because the thing is that the number one health rule that I go by is eat as close to nature as possible. Eat as close to nature as possible. And if I'm going to eat as close to nature as possible, it means that when I'm about to put something in my mouth, I should be able to identify it as a crop. I should be able to identify all the steps that has gone into it being uprooted from the ground or plucked from the tree. And before it is up until it sits in my hand. The entire process from when they plucked it until when I bought it. I need to be able to know that process. If I don't know it, or it's complicated to me or complex to me, I probably shouldn't be eating that. And this is the same for your biscuits and some of your burgers and some of these things. There are ingredients, so there are still ingredients that are bad for you. These are just like food types that you should generally just avoid if you can afford to. Because, like I said, it's cheaper. You might not get that it's cheaper, but if they tell you now, don't drink Coke, don't drink this one, or don't eat this biscuit, don't eat all this cake that they will prepackage, all this cupcake that they will prepackage, don't eat all these buns, them. If they tell you other one now, how will you now, survive? So, it might be difficult, but it's just the truth of the matter that you should be eating as close to nature as possible. But there are very good alternatives. For example, see cashew nuts, see granuts, and some of these nuts, they are not very expensive, but they can satisfy you if you eat a lot of them. You get a dish or a plate of fruit salad is a better alternative if you cannot afford food than going to buy meat pie. They are about the same price. So these little changes that we can make, and to avoid things like here's some new knowledge that I recently acquired. Our brains and our bodies are wired to crave the things that we need. It's the same instinct for all other animals, like a cat, for example. My cat likes milk, likes yogurt a lot, and it likes it not because it has ever tasted it before. This is a cat I knew from kitten level, so I basically fed that cat everything it has ever eaten. Of course, it runs out of the house occasionally, so that's just not true. But I know that I first gave it yogurt, and before I could even invite, it's already rushing the thing. Same thing with fish. Smelled fish for the first time and was scratching the chair and rubbing my legs. So we as humans, even as well like our animals, and we are drawn to the things that our body needs and the things that are good for us. That is why you like every fruit, but you don't particularly like every beverage out there. Some people don't like shawarma, some people don't like pizza, because you are not really drawn. You might be drawn to some aspects of it, like the meat inside. So the things that are good for you, and your body knows it. But then, here's the catch, here's the problem. Most of us have spoilt our natural sense of desire for that thing that is good for our bodies, because we've been exposed to something that just totally overshadows that, I don't know what to call it, that impulse, that part of our body, that sensor. So you can imagine it like this. You have a sensor in your body that helps you identify food that is good for different things in your body, that maintains your sugar level properly, antioxidants that are good for you, your muscle mass, things that give you all these things. Your body is naturally attracted to it because of this sensor in your body. But then now, you've been exposed to something that just shines a bright light in that sensor, confusing it completely and toning down its effectiveness in finding and identifying things that are good for you, or in making you crave things that are good for you. Because there's something else that is in front of you, shadowing it completely, and you cannot crave deeply things that your body needs, because you are craving something else that is just overshadowing it. And you know what that thing is? It's sugar. Sugar is in everything. we have natural glucose that is good for us. Now, the good thing is that we take those, we eat those. The fucked up thing is that when we do that, we should go ahead and eat a lot more quantity in added and refined sugar. And sugar is in everything we do. It's in all the cakes, it's in all the biscuits, all the beverages, all the energy drinks, and the malt, and the Coke, and the milk drink, the Seaway. God. The Monster. I said the energy drinks, so, and the everything. Yeah? Your buns, your meat pie. It's in everything. So, you now ask yourself, you are living, in terms of your diet now and the things that your body is craving now, you are living a substandard dietary life. Your life that you think is nice now, you are living a life that you can do so much better than. And you don't know it. Sugar is just like an addictive substance that has no nutrients that is good for you. And the reason why we are so susceptible to sugar is because it triggers our reward mechanism. And I'm talking about dopamine. It triggers our reward mechanism. And normally, we have our reward mechanism triggered when we are doing things that are supposed to give us reward. Like, you understand? Like, if you are hunting and just before you catch your prey, or just the attempt or the trying, it already releases dopamine to keep you motivated to, And then what sugar does, that it releases high levels of that dopamine. And it fucks with your homeostasis. Homeostasis is like, you see the way dopamine now is like your reward mechanism. There's something else too that's supposed to like sadden you. So if dopamine gets you up and happy and up it, there's something else too. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name, but there's another hormone that does the opposite of that. So homeostasis is when both of them are in a balance, both of them are in a balance. And usually that is when you should be pressing on the other pain side. That is, your dopamine should be down, and then that pain one should be up. Let's just call it anti-dopamine, just to be sure. So that anti-dopamine will be up. So most of the time you are feeling the hunger of the chasing of something. And then occasionally what should happen is that your dopamine will come up when you achieve something. So you have to go through a lot of long period of actually chasing something or trying to something, and then occasionally you just get a small reward that tilts imagine that's it at like a scale, like a judgment scale. So occasionally you get the dopamine up when you achieve something, and then it returns to baseline afterwards, which is just a little bit sad, or a little bit depressed, or a little bit, but that is the natural baseline. The problem is that sugar now fucks with that baseline. And then when you are at that level, it makes you want to keep going for more. And now you're not looking at food that is good for your body anymore. You're just looking for more of the reward you get from eating that thing. And you notice when you eat sugary stuff or stuff that are not natural, you eat it compulsively. Not necessarily because you're hungry, but because you don't want to stop. It feels good. It feels so good. It's not savory, it just feels good. You might not catch or pay attention to the differences, but if you start trying to spot it, you will notice that there's a distinction between real cooked food in terms of sweetness. When you say this one is sweet and this one is also sweet, when you start comparing them, when you eat snacks and when you eat real good food, you see that it is not the same level of sweetness. One part seems like it triggers your brain, and the other part seems like it triggers your tongue and then transmits it to your brain. So what sugar does is it replaces our natural instinct for good food with what we now want is a good feeling when we eat. And that is why you will now be addicted to pizza, shawarma, and all these things. Satisfaction is a huge teller in terms of what is good for you. When you eat a lot of meat pie, you naturally get irritated before you get satisfied. If you eat a lot of Indomie, you will naturally, Indomie is part of those things. I don't know about the sugar level, I cannot speak on that, but I know one of the things that are not good for you based on the ingredients. So you can look them up. That's as far as I know. But things like Indomie, you cannot eat it until you are satisfied. You can eat it until you are irritated. And I'm not talking about the ones that they spice up with vegetables and chicken, because that one now, what is satisfying you there is the vegetables and the chicken. The Indomie just adds mass. So I'm not talking about those. And it's the same thing with biscuits, with chin-chin, with cake, with Coke. You drink these things and you start feeling nauseated. And that's where you can spot that you are eating something unhealthy. And on the flip side, cooked food like beans, when you eat it, you'll be full, you will drink water. You eat rice, you eat yam, you eat potatoes, And those ones, that you feel satisfied when you eat them. You eat swallow. Like a nice plate of pounded yam and egusi soup would settle well with meat. It's not the way your meat pie will settle that thing used to settle. Say the truth. You mix it with palm wine. It's not the way the meat pie will settle with Coke. So we actually can tell the things that are not good. But how bad is it for you? How bad is it really for you? Apart from fucking up your taste bud. Oh, here's something else it does to your taste bud. If you stay off sugar, and this is information from Andrew Huberman, neuroscientist, I follow his podcast. You should too. The name of the podcast is the Huberman Lab. So when you stay off food, like sugary food, like sugar, when you stay off sugar, the withdrawal is often difficult. Like you begin to crave sugar, like a lot. And that's what I'm doing right now. I've been off sugar for, like completely, I've been off sugar for like 4 days now. Nothing sugar, no sugar at all. 4 days now. And it's crazy. I'm craving sugar like terribly, but I've taken all out of the house and there is no one anywhere close to me. And I'll have to spend money to get sugar. And I don't see myself doing that. So, you will experience, according to him, you would experience this withdrawal for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month. But what will happen is that that part of your body that is supposed to be sensing what is good for you, that is supposed to find it attractive, that part will begin to blossom again. It will begin to heal and develop again. It will become very sharp, the way it was with our forefathers like several centuries ago or several even million years ago. Were there humans on Earth millions of years ago? I think they were. So, it will be that sharp if you stay off sugar. And then what will happen is you begin to enjoy cooked food way more, because now you can get all the spices. Ginger is good for you. Garlic is good for you. The other spices, some of them, they are really good for you. Salt, to a certain degree, is good for you. And there are receptors in your tongue that are in your brain, say from your brain to your tongue, that are looking to experience these spices and these not flavors, but these nutrients basically. But your brain is already wired to love the way they taste. So you're just going to enjoy food so much more. And if you keep that up for like 6 months, here's what happens. You might find yourself at a party and say, I've stayed off this thing. I wonder what cake tastes like. When you taste, you will spit it out. When you taste that cake, you will spit it out, because you are going to see the clear difference in, you would have been so in love with what nature brings that you will see this nonsense, sugary nonsense for what it is. The problem is that you think it's impossible, but the thing is that you've never done this in your life before. So you don't know. You've had sugar since you were a child. You've wanted cheese balls. You've eaten biscuits. You've eaten chin-chin every fucking Christmas. And then every time in between, there's Coke somewhere or there's cake somewhere and there's, you've never done it before. But if you do it, this is what's going to happen. And I cannot wait. Anyway, That's that. And then regarding sicknesses and diseases, things that like that are habitual. For example, now see this sugar we are talking about here. It does a lot of harmful things to you. A lot of issues, sicknesses that you have, diabetes being only one of them. It has a sugar, according to research, has correlation to 90% of the major disease causing, death causing diseases known to us. Your diabetes, your arthritis, your strokes, your Parkinson's, your everything. Sugar has a direct correlation to all those diseases. I don't see how anybody should even be eating sugar. Anyway, wow, that shit tastes good now. Come on. But let's talk alternatives. So, now that we know that you shouldn't be drinking Coke, a lot of people, millions of Nigerians are addicted to Coke. And it's just the sugar they are addicted to. What can they do? We have alternatives, natural alternatives. I would suggest, as an alternative to Coke, Zobo. Or if you like soy milk if that's your thing. Or Kunu. Yeah. Or what's this other one? I don't know. I don't have enough knowledge on dairy as I would like to. So I don't know if I should even advise people to eat like Nunu. This one that these Fulani people sell. And Fura, because I'm not quite sure what is in there. But I feel like since it's natural, I'd rather you take that over Coke. So that's something you can do. Then fruits. I have apples are 500 naira now. 600 naira now. And I have found that eating one apple actually does more for you than you think it does. If you become a regular apple eater, one apple will begin to satisfy you. And it's because you know that it's supposed to satisfy you. They say an apple they keep the doctor away. Apples are delicious. They are delicious. And they are cheap. And I just hope that you would start eating them at least once every day. They will do a lot for you. It's like compound interest. Especially if you're young. So, I found that if you want to eat, for example, you're hungry, think of an apple as something you should try. Or think of fruit salad instead of thinking of Coke and something. Because I know a bottle of Coke and buns now. Honestly, I'm not quite familiar with the price, but I'm sure buns can be like 100, 200. Coke can be like 300. So 500, 600 naira can buy you one apple. And it will satisfy you and it will do better than that Coke would have done. But remember, it is discipline that it will take. It's not going to be a direct sub or direct swap for you. Your mind will still crave that sugar because you're addicted now. So you will need some discipline and take solace in the fact that the replacement is actually sweet as well. And then if you can afford it, great, do 2 apples. By the time you're 1.5 in, you'll be satisfied genuinely. If they offered you Coke after you ate an apple, I doubt you would want to take it. Except maybe it's very cold and you're very... I understand the temptation of Coke, but I've not drank Coke in like 3 years. But I understand the frustration. Because I grew up, I used to drink Coke a lot. And it was due to the habit of my family at the time. Like we had a shop, we had one business, a shop where we used to go and stay. I used to sell at that shop. And our lunch is mostly stuff that, we sell. Just take from there and eat lunch and continue your day. So it's mostly Coke and cake, Coke and this. I never developed an addiction for it, but I knew people who did because we had regular customers who come at a certain time every single day to buy Coke. Sometimes multiple times a day. I even have a story. There was a woman who used to sew very close to our shop. Shop was in Tony Mas Plaza, in the plaza. And she was like our neighbor. And she was very fat. I mean, she was fat, man. And she used to drink a lot of Coke, like 3 a day. I tell you, this woman died. I don't know what killed her, but I know the sugar had something to do with it. Because first of all, look at the weight. you know the eating habit is bad. And sometimes some things are just take care of your health, do what you're supposed to do. We would actually live long. The chances of you dying by violent means reduces every day. We have less people involved in violent cultism now than ever before. We have fewer road accidents now than ever before. We have fewer plane crashes now than ever before, boat accidents than ever before. What we have is insecurity in our country. And if you can afford to secure yourself, which is just live in a nice neighborhood, travel safely. That is along major roads with reputable transport companies, you will be safe. All you have to do is take care of your health. So for a lot of us, it is our habits that are killing us. It's the things you do and then what they make you eat. A mechanic only has access to the woman that is selling coke and buns near him. Does he not have to go far to look for where they are selling kunoya? Or where will he now go and buy apples unless he buys it on his way home and then brings it to work the next day? You know, it's tricky, but if you want your future, you have to do the disciplined work. If you want your future to be secure, and that of your loved ones, they have to do the disciplined work, and you will live long and healthy. When you are hearing stories of the Bible and people are saying, and so person lived so many number of years, it's because the things that we are doing now is what is shortening our life. The habits that we have now and the things that we eat are the things that are shortening our life. People in the past didn't have the problems, but we don't know that there are problems to us. They didn't have the problems that we have now. That is why they lived longer. A lot of things that they did was natural, which was good for them because they didn't have access to like refined stuff. And it was just good for them. They were living close to the way animals live, close to nature. And they just lived the normal lifespan the human body is supposed to live, which is probably 200 years is supposed to actually last. Probably 200 years if you do everything from birth to death. Perhaps. You know? But you would never know because the society and the world we live in enforces things on us that would ensure that we don't live as long as we are supposed to. And I'm noticing that the way the world is evolving is not linear. It is quantum. It is exponential. Development of the human race is exponential or has been exponential recently. So, for example, see how long it took us to get from using letters to communicate to using phone. Like phone, hello, you can hear audio. But look at how long it took us now from having audio, which was like, how many years ago? In the 70s or something. Or maybe 60s, whatever. From having audio to having video and pictures, like being able to do video call. And then look at the difference between that now and like AI, being able to replicate a human being or being able to have it as if that person is in front of you with VR. Letter writing, they did that for centuries. Phone, we've not even reached half a century before video call came. That's what I mean by pictures. Video call and sending of pictures came. Social media, internet, now AI. Now almost everything is automated in a soft manner that you cannot even see any mechanical parts. So, because the world is not at a quantum level, humanity is exposed to things that we have not naturally evolved for. So, if our world remains like this now, the people who've evolved to actually be effective in this type of world are not in our lifetime and maybe not for a few hundred years. Because the world has advanced more than our biology has advanced, and so we suffer consequences of drastic changes and foreign materials, which is what we expose ourselves to these days. Do you know that your phone has radiation that is bad for you? Your iPhone, at least. And it's all there in the service agreement that you signed and you clicked I agree because you didn't read it. But they said your iPhone should be at least 5, and this is not a long margin, 5 millimeters away from you. That's all. That is letting not touch your skin. Keep your iPhone 5 millimeters away from you. I busy 5 centimeters away from you. But you don't know that. But the radiation that we are going to suffer this in decades to come, Sha, because smartphones are something that has been reigning in the past decade or so. And the effects of that radiation, you will not see it until you've settled into that routine of using your smartphone and having it touch your body all day long for like 20, 30 years. And then a new disease will come up and they will say that's what's killing you, the radiation is bad. When it was all there, scientists knew, but you didn't know. The scientists who made the phone, the people who made the phone knew, and they warned you. But they designed in such a way that they're not going to highlight that information for you, because otherwise you wouldn't buy. But you're going to buy if you don't know, and you've bought, and now you're using it. So try to keep your phone away from you as much as you can. And, even with your eyes and the screen time, there are monochrome glasses. I've been religiously wearing mine recently. I've had monochrome glasses for... Okay. Let's go. I've had monochrome glasses for like 3 years, and I've never used it religiously. I use it for fashion. But now I use it to work. Very hypocritical of me, but I'm not wearing any one right now when my screen is on. But I use them a lot these days. It's part of my personality now. Because it's good to protect your eyes from all these screens. Because we've not been exposed to screens like this before. And it's a drastic change, and your body will react to it negatively eventually. And you want to be prepared when that happens to your peers. So, in summary, avoid sugar, exercise regularly. I've heard people say, and I've heard a 90-year-old man say that you can almost cheat death if you exercise every day. Like, he said that, and he's 90. He said he has lost a lot of people who, as a result, like his loved ones, he outlived everybody. But he knows that that's because he exercises every single day. He's been exercising every single day since his 20s. So exercise is extremely important. And there's one tip. If you want to lose weight, the number one thing about losing weight is you cannot outwork your mouth. So it's not about working out plenty. If you just don't eat as many fattening things, you'll be fine. If you eat only vegetables and you exercise, you will lose weight. If you eat meat, fish, eggs, water only, meat, fish, eggs, and crops like rice, beans, and water only, and yam, you'll be fine. And don't eat any junk, you'll be fine. Regarding sugar, if you start withdrawing small, the ones that you can avoid, start replacing them with other things. Like I said, the Zobo, the apple. It's not like nothing to replace cake, because it's a tricky thing. Nothing to replace buns. But me, I would suggest plantain chips. I've not even done my research on plantain chips enough, because I'm beginning to love them, but I can't say I know the full process in making them, if they add any extra sugar or anything like that. Look, I'm not a very good cook, so I don't know if what I'm saying is even outlandish. But plantain chips, I like them. I would prefer that you take them over what they made with flour, because flour might be natural, but what they do is baking. The same thing with changing is baking, and with baking you have to add sugar. And it's just so yeah. That's basically. Look, I care about all of you. Anybody that is listening to this right now, I don't know how you got this audio, but that I'm able to capture your time and part of your life basically in these moments. I want to provide as much value as possible, and I really care about your well-being, because you're doing something for me in terms of support. So I appreciate that. Remember, please, if you're not following, if you're not subscribed in any way on social media, please subscribe so you don't miss future content. And see you at the next episode. Bye.